Go.
What's up, Reddit Nation? We back. Yo, what's up, Raider Nation? Spicy Raider Girl here with Mighty Thor and Raider Spice. We got Mother Moon behind the scenes.
Here
What's
I
good,
am. Not MIA. I'm behind the scenes.
everyone? Different
Hello.
acronym. Hello. I like
Hi,
that hat,
Martine.
girl. I need that hat, by the way.
Oh, well, thank you. You know what? This is the hat on my birthday party that stranger gave me. Remember at my birthday
Stranger?
party?
Like,
And I
like
was
an
like,
actual stranger? Or is that like his Raider name?
yeah, he was sitting at the bar, and I said, I like your hat. Can I have your hat? It's my birthday. He took it off and handed it to me.
Nice. That's a
Man,
score.
you should ask him for his wallet.
See, that's why I need you with me, Thor. So I would have asked him, you know?
I like your
I
wallet.
would have got it.
Liking your hat
Yes,
also there,
so-
Thor. Looking good.
I know. I want that hat. I wish it was fitted.
No. I like your wallet. Hello. Did you
yeah,
not?
I like your wallet. That's right. My bad.
Oy.
Anyway,
That's
if
the
you're
new
watching
word.
over on Facebook, jump on over to YouTube so we can see your comments. If you're already over here, light that torch, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What's up, Willie Wayne? Raiders winning the AFC West. Yes. We're talking about this earlier. The power rankings have the Raiders at like 14 and the Chargers at 2 and the Chiefs at 4. That sounds whack to me. I don't know if there's definitely not that big of a discrepancy between those three teams. People be tripping.
And
Scotty Waddy Raider 1, what's up?
They got the
King
Donkeys
Savage.
like 12 or some shit.
Well, they were
the
12, so they got them all above us. And to be that far apart, it's like, that's crazy.
Of course. Yep.
Typical.
You know. I mean, it is what it is. They always hate on us. It ain't like nothing changed. Nothing changed. They always hate on us. Honestly, we've had 20 plus years of being crap. So what can you do? The last 2 years, we went over the win total suggested by the Vegas betting lines. Last year it was 8.
What's good, Stewie?
And we wound up winning 10. Stewie, my brother, what's
Hey,
up? The year before,
how's it going?
So good. How are you?
Good.
Good. We were just talking about the power ratings and how they got the Raiders all the way down there at 14 and Chargers at 2 and KC at 4 and how much nonsense that is.
Where's Denver at? Where'd they put them?
Thor said 12.
I think
We're
Denver's
at, we're at what?
14.
We're at the bottom.
I haven't seen anything where we've ever been above any of the other teams in the AFC West.
Right. So who cares what they gotta say? Exactly.
Who puts this list out?
The NFL.
The NFL does?
Right.
I think so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, it's the preseason, so I don't even know how they're able to even rank anything going on right now because half the guys aren't playing, and so that's what I was talking earlier with Wasted, and that's the thing. It's like everything is just speculation right now because you don't know who they're playing against. We don't know who we have. I mean, it's at this point right now. I just remember when I was playing, it was like let's just get to the 53-man roster so we can kind of have some, we know what we're dealing with, who we're going through the season with. Otherwise, it's like a guessing game because you're sitting there like, man, do I establish a relationship with this guy? And and mentor this guy or whatever, and he may not be here next week. So it's like, man. So, but I've been impressed.
Right.
I mean, what do you guys think? You guys been impressed or what?
Totally, I'm impressed. 2-0. I don't care. I mean, people give preseason a hard time, but hey, a win's a win, and I like what they're doing out there on the field. I think they look good, and I like seeing the starters on the sidelines for the most part. Being there, being excited for them.
For the most part, yes.
For the most part, yeah, I threw that in.
Not all, but
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I'm excited about. I'm excited about very few penalties. I'm excited about no stupid shenanigans that we're used to seeing.
Right.
Like, we look like a professional organization out there, and
that's what I was saying too. I mean, just the substitutions, the in and outs, the tempo, the lack of penalties, substitution errors. It seems like it's organized, and I mean, if you look at it as far as team stats go, I mean, I think against who did we play the first game?
The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah. The Jaguars, I think maybe they beat us in one category, and then the Vikings, I think, maybe beat us in two barely. So, I mean, statistically, we've been doing good, finishing, and I mean that's all you can ask for right now. I mean, shit.
Yeah.
Plus the play calling is so vanilla in the preseason, right? Yeah. I mean, you would know this more than us, right? But to me, I was a little disappointed last game. The only thing I was disappointed in was the red zone offense. To me, it's just. But then I was like, it's so vanilla at this point. They're not going to throw out their stuff. They see these guys get off the ball and stuff like that. So it's kind of going to be that way to some extent.
I mean, if you have coaches game planning in the preseason, and I actually saw Minnesota doing that a little bit with some of their defensive line stunts and stuff, and that's just. That's kind of Bush League. And the one thing, though, is I want to say we were about 38% in the red zone the first game, which I think the other team with Jacksonville was 25%. And then this past game, we were almost 50% in the red zone with them only converting one. And it was that last touchdown they had. So, obviously last year, red zone was a huge black eye for us, and I think we've improved on it. You know what I mean? So hopefully that won't be an issue.
Right.
And I think our short yardage. I thought our short yardage has been a lot better. We were I think 1 for 1 this past game on fourth downs, and then I think 2 for 2 the other game, or it might be opposite or whatever. So I know that we struggled a little bit with those short down and distances last year where we're getting stopped. And I thought it's been good.
It's looking good. What do you think of this comment here? King Savage, our special teams is looking kind of weak the last 2 games. You guys agree with that?
I would say our special teams has never been one of our strong suits for the last few years to me. How come for me, we never get returns ever. We never get returns. And we every once in a while give up a return. It's horrible. I'm always yelling for our guy to take a knee and don't even think about taking it out, because when we do, I just don't know. I just think we're kind of cursed on special teams. We to me just kick the ball out the back of the end zone, because otherwise we make mistakes and take a knee. We'll just take the ball to 25, give them the ball to 25, and live with what happens.
Well, I think it's far. What is it? 25? Is that the deal?
25.
Yeah. I think we have. I mean, obviously we have capable guys. We know Renfro's a good punt returner. I mean, I thought. As far as the return yards go, I'm not real concerned about that. I did like the way that number 10, the receiver, ran down on that punt and made a nice tackle down there in like the 6-yard line. And obviously, our punter and kicker Carlson, that 55-yarder he nailed. I know he missed an extra point, though, which was kind of weird. And who knows what that could have been or whatever. So, and then the last the last game they had that return off of the guy we just traded, Gillespie. I think he was the one who kind of jumped in there and should have had a sure tackle on the returner, and I don't know, he didn't wrap up the guy. And
Right.
but again, I mean, that stuff's going to happen. You know, I think we're doing good as far as not giving up touchdowns in the red zone, and that's what you want to be able to do. I mean, hold them to field goals, right? That was our problem. It was like, yeah, we may even get down there, we weren't having success, and field goals just you gotta try to get in that end zone. And I thought we've been easy plays, you know, pitch plays out to Amir Abdullah, and I mean the quarterback Stidham. Were there guys options? You know, I think he had 2 or 3 guys he probably could have thrown to when he ran for that one this past week. But I liked the fact that you could tell the coaches are making it simple because he's looking over here. I think he had one read, and if that read wasn't open,
one read and go. It's one read and go. To me, that's okay, making it simple, but I'm gonna play devil's advocate here. Making it simple.
Of course you are. You're a Raiders fan, dude. Of course.
But when it comes down to regular season, obviously DC4 is going to be in there. We can't have him just being simple. And Stidham, bro, he had 2 people when he ran. I did not like Stidham. I was much happier with what Mullins did coming in the second half in that game. The first game, I thought Stidham was a little better, but to me, it's like.
Did you say the first game? You said the first game thought he was better, Thor. The first game you thought he
was a little better, the first game. But this game, I thought it was the other way around by a long shot. I mean, at this point, you know you're not going to start. You're not going to start, so you're going to be the backup. Right. You might as well go. You got to go try to win it because it's either you or Mullins, right? One of you two is winning. It's not Garber. I actually like Chase Garber.
They'll probably have 3 and have Mullins kind of be a practice guy. You know, I think that's probably what they'll do. But yeah, when you talked about return yards, cool, Kev, I was thinking of Johnny Lee Higgins was the guy I was thinking of. I remember seeing him do a backflip in the end zone. UTEP, baby. UTEP minor there. What'd you just say? I forgot what we were talking about.
The quarterback battle for number 2.
Yeah, the quarterback. I don't think. I mean, I think Stidham just. I think he probably just felt comfortable. He had a touch because he had a touchdown the week before in the red zone as well, didn't he? I think he had the only.
No, and I'm okay with that. But
both weeks,
I believe. Running quarterback dude. Throw the ball. He had the dude wide open. He had 2 people open. Throw the damn ball in the end zone. You're a quarterback.
Somebody pushed him in. I don't know who it was, but somebody pushed him into the end zone. James,
I just remember that.
I remember it. He's like, you getting in there.
Wait, hold on now. Whoa, fans here. Now we're complaining when we score touchdowns.
What's that?
No, we're not
complaining. I like it. Push him in. I don't care how he gets in. I'm not complaining at all. Push him in. Kick him up, carry him, throw him if you have to.
Yeah, I was loving it. No,
I'm just messing with you. Yeah. No, I thought Mullins played.
Hey, Drake is my new hero, man.
Drake?
Hey, Drake was balling. Yes. Did pretty good.
I want to pull.
Very.
I don't know about Drake. I think Drake is even going to make the team.
Really?
It's just so hard because there's so many guys that are trying to get.
He did very well.
There's so many guys trying to get playing time. It's hard to get all those guys in there. You know what I mean? To get a rhythm going.
Yeah. Right. I like Drake. I think he did this last game. So we'll see what happens, Thor, if he's not going to make the team or not. Let's see.
I saw Drake shaking.
You don't think so?
I mean, if he makes the team, cool.
He was doing really good.
I don't know if I don't know if he was doing that good to me. But also, I think he's been around the league for a while. He might have a little more experience, but he also has more miles on his body. A running back in the NFL don't last that long generally. We'll see.
True.
I mean, I love Josh Jacobs. I love the new kid. White. Right, Zamir Zeus. Yeah. I love Zeus. I like Waller. I like the way Waller or Walter. How do you say his name? Walter.
I think it's Walter. Yeah, I think
Walter. Yeah,
he ran
Waller is our
hard. He
track
ran
meet.
tough. He ran
So
tough.
I mean, we're running. I think we're just running back deep. So maybe we keep. I'm okay if we keep 5 or 6 running backs because I like that because it gives you Amir Abdullah. I really like Amir Abdullah. I think him and Kenyon Drake are almost the same person, right? So,
Yeah.
Right.
Do you keep 2 people like that? We'll see. If they keep him good, then he's a Raider, and I hope he goes crazy. And I hope I'm like, Spice, Kenyon Drake is the man. My bad.
Right?
I love I love these. I love the screen game that they're doing. They ran the screens very well. I'm thinking if you look at those 2 guys, Amir and Drake, I remember when Amir was coming out, he was a very, very fast running back. Obviously, he's been in the league for quite a while now, so I don't know if he still has that speed. I thought he looked pretty good. I mean, I thought,
right.
And I guess if you look at both of them, it comes down to probably a money thing, and I've got to believe that obviously Amir is going to be making a lot less. So unfortunately, it could be one of those. Sorry, Spice. It could be. I'm just saying, looking at it from a business. I know. But yeah. So let me see. So how long has Drake been in? How long has he played? Let's see here.
I think about 4 or 5.
So he was 6 years. This is his 7th year out of Alabama. 6'1".
Yep.
6'1", 211.
Yep.
I think typically they'll keep 3 or 4 running backs, and one of those guys is going to be number 7, the fullback. So at the max, I would say 5. I mean, I don't think you really need more than that.
Yeah, that seems like a lot. 5 seems like a lot.
Right.
Yeah, because you want these guys to get in there and get a rhythm. You don't want to have every series we got a new running back out there,
Right. Right. But you also keep them fresh. So let me ask you. We got what's his name from the Patriots, right? The Patriots over the years, how many times would you have a dude? Only no reason I really know this is because I'm a fantasy guy. They would have a dude like you don't even know his name anymore. Would come out and go for 140 yards and 38 yards receiving, and then you would not hear from him.
Corey Dillon comes
to
mind.
They just rotated so many people.
Well, I think too because they're balanced with their offensive play calling. They know when to call the right plays at the right time. They set each other up. Again, I think they're a very. I mean, from what I've seen, the coaching staff has a philosophy. They know what they want. I think that they have an idea too coming in as far as are we going to try to go for an offensive lineman? Are we going to I read over 5 options today about some offensive linemen that they're thinking about maybe picking up. And then as far as Waller goes, there's a reason that they're not. There's no rush. There's no rush to restructure his contract. I mean, he's under contract. He's obligated to play. And I mean, if you look at last year, it wasn't anything impressive. He's getting older, and it's like let's see what he does. Let's see what he does this year, and then reward him. And if he doesn't want to come back, then hey, you know what? Thank you very much, and we'll move on.
Yeah. We were talking about that earlier. Do you think it sounds like you think it's a good idea that they don't sign him yet and see how he performs. But my concern is, do you think it'll get to the point if he does end up balling out and really being a top tight end, what? Then do the Raiders have to overpay him, or do they sign him as kind of like a bargain deal now?
Stop.
Which way do you go with that? You take a risk, or?
I look at it going. I don't think it's going to be a deal. I just don't think he's been consistent enough. And again, what year is this for him?
Waller?
Yeah.
It's probably but he has this drug issue.
Yeah, I mean, but that's wear and tear on your body too, man. I mean, that's a lot of damage to your body. That as you get old, I mean, I think he's in his 30. I think he's 30 now, and again, the more time you take off as you get older, the harder it is to get back into things, and I just don't think
Yes,
I don't
is.
think it's a rush. I don't think it's not like I don't see a ton of teams. I mean, like.
So Waller,
begging
6th
for him.
season, and he's 29. 6th season, 29 years old.
Yeah, so I mean, there's some positions that are at a premium. You know, offensive tackles, defensive linemen. Those guys are tough to find. I think,
Right.
you know, when you talk about tight ends, I think we can get another guy in there. What's that? What'd you say?
Dime a dozen tight ends.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think we've got guys capable, and you can get a guy in there with similar set talent. And I just don't think there's any rush for us to pay him, because I mean, what happens if he does get hurt again? You know what I mean?
Right.
Or
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, falls off the wagon, or you know, I
Don't
mean,
say that.
What'd you say?
Fall off the wagon. I'm like,
Oh, no.
I'm just saying that goes into it. And I mean, the way that he's missing the games to hang out with his girlfriend, this guy could be lovesick and leave the team. Who knows? Shit, I don't know.
Yeah, she won't let that happen. She won't let that happen.
No, but
He could be a liability, man.
I think that was total. I don't, you know, I know he had a hall pass. He had it was pre-approved and everything, so you know he's not in trouble. But I just think he's got to be there for his team. Like, watch your girlfriend on another night. Support her on another night. You got to be there to support your teammates, your brothers.
Right.
And
it's a very bad look. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah.
I've been on it the last 2 days.
Very, very bad look.
It's a very, very bad look, and I've been seeing. I was very surprised at first how accommodating the nation was, and then now I think people are starting to look at it and realize, like, yeah, it's not right. It's not right. It's not right.
Right.
Football is the greatest team sport in the world. It takes from Mark Davis down to the last equipment manager. Literally every win and every loss, everybody's involved with it, and you got to be able to trust your teammates, and you got to be able to want to play for your teammates. And I know, obviously, you got to look out for number one. I mean, right? I mean, you're your own business, but to go, I mean, I don't know, man. Especially, like, I just don't like the fact that it was going to see his girlfriend play. I mean, it's just I don't know. It's soft to me, and I just don't like that.
Well, maybe there's a big conflict with her games, his game. Well, her games and his games. So maybe there's a conflict, and so he just tried to take one in before.
they play like every other day.
I don't know. Okay, I'm just trying to. I don't know. I'm trying to find some here for the man.
Okay, you know what? So, and ladies, I can understand that coming from you, but I was surprised at how many guys were like. I'm like, man, you guys are some.
No, I don't agree with it at all. I'm saying they play every other day. He could go on another day. That's what I'm saying.
I asked this.
Yeah.
Here's a question I posed to anybody. Would you guys, as fans, miss the Raiders game to go watch Plum play in some last game of the year?
Just no.
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 Hell no. No, I mean,
No.
We Raider fans. Stewie, we Raider fans. Raider fans is different.
he's a Raiders player.
Right.
Yeah, but you was asking us. You was asking us. Let me tell you something, Stewie. Stewie, I love you to death, right? I love you to death. And I know that you as a player have a different, an ex-player have a different point of view on the situation. For us, it's like, as fans, we do, to me, a lot of times we do more. There was years we felt like we was doing more in the parking lot than a lot of players were doing on the field. So, and we understand how now, especially, I understand now how, especially.
So how do you feel about a player not being there?
Well, Cool Kev has the answer for
not
that.
okay.
You know what I mean? So, like, you're saying you're there, you're supporting,
I'm saying it's not cool, but I also understand that because of the way the times have changed, that certain things that a lot of players nowadays.
I honestly can't even comprehend it. I can't comprehend it. It doesn't make sense to me.
I don't agree. I'm not saying I agree with it at all. I'm just saying I understand. I'm not the one, You ain't never gonna catch me like that. Like I don't care. I'll be out there on game day at the crack of dawn. You can look at. I'm always there.
Here's the way I look at it. I
But
mean, it sets
we
it
were
sets a
raised different. These little kids, because if you think about it, most of the players out there are
Yep.
basically little kids compared to us, right? These
Well,
little kids,
I don't know. 29-year-old's not a little
it's
Right.
kid.
crazy different.
but it sets a bad example for the younger players because Waller, if he wants to be or not, he is a leader on this team. When things are going bad, he is a guy that we are expecting to bring people together. People are looking up for him to make plays in pivotal moments. And as a younger player, you don't know what you're doing. You've never been a pro football player before, right? So you don't know how to act. You need to go and you're seeing the older guys and seeing how they do things. And you looked at it and you go, it's just, I think it shows, again, it's a bad example. And you should, as a player, like, you go all year, not so much anymore, but like the practices and the two-a-days and the meetings and just the coaches and the bullshit. You do all that to get to the game. And I know he's not playing, but you should still want to be at that stadium. You should want to be, on the sideline, signing autographs, taking pictures.
So can I touch on that point? Because this is what I thought. First of all, I don't even know how a player goes to their boss, their ownership, and says, "Hey, can I get my day off to go see my girlfriend play?" That seems weird in itself. But do you think Mark Davis allowed that for the reason you just said? He owns both teams, right? Maybe he wants a Raiders player at the game to take the pictures and to sign the autographs.
Well, some of when I had points. And some of the nation, they said, he owns that. Maybe he's trying to, bring in Waller because he's a well-known name to try to bring in people and promote the Aces. But here's the deal: the Aces are worth about $11 to $12 million. That's just a tax write-off for Mark. It's not as if that's, does he want it to do well? But it's more of him creating an environment. It's not like he's looking at that thing as a cash cow. You know what I'm saying? I mean, and I don't, as far as I know, I don't think he was interacting with any fans. I mean, he was probably just sitting there. The picture I saw, he's just sitting on the, sideline or court side. And and I talked with some of my former players and they said that it would never happen. And even if, again, you guys all have work or have worked and you sign a contract to your boss, that's your fucking job.
Yeah.
That's what we talk about all the
That is
time.
your
Yeah.
Say that all the time. It's your
Shut
livelihood.
up.
They come saying these things. This is my biggest pet peeve, and tell me what you think about this. You can think it, but don't say it. My biggest pet peeve is when, I won't say his name, when some players say this is just a game. Like, no, this is your livelihood, dude. If you think that, just keep it to yourself, please.
And Spicy, you bring up a good point because the nation yesterday was like, dude, it's just a preseason game. It doesn't mean anything. And I go, what does it mean it doesn't mean anything? I'm like, it means a lot. I'm like, to the fans, to the people going, to the people working. If it didn't mean shit, why are we watching it? Why are we talking about it? I'm out there. I mean, players are out there, giving up their body. I don't care. A game's a game. I don't care what you're doing. You should go and do your best. There's nothing is like, well, nothing, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it does. Yes, it does.
Said that to you, but people in the parking lot on Sunday wasn't saying that. Honestly, I actually mentioned that. I was like, well, we know it's just a preseason game, and I was about to say, but it's a Raider. And someone was like, preseason, well, this is a Raider game. That's what I was saying. Like, that's what I was about to say. So
it's a game. I mean, like, regardless,
people are out there like you want to win.
Well, you know what, you guys? Let me just say this. It means a lot. For me, I went to a bar by myself and watched the game and took notes. Because I want to know who's in preseason, what players are going to make the team. I already know what is going on. So it does mean a lot.
And here's the thing: as fans, which I am now, you should expect more out of the players. I mean, What if someone came and that was the only game they're going to go to, and Waller was their favorite player, and a kid's going to be able to during a preseason game go down close and get an autograph, and all of a sudden he's not there.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, fuck! I just spent a lot of money to see that guy, and he doesn't show up, and it's just like,
It's the problem with society today, though. It's more, to me, it's more than that. It's the problem with society. You see this through also, like, I'm not trying to get off football talk, but you see this in all
well, I'm in
sports.
here. I'm always going to get you guys off football talk.
It's just a problem. It's just a problem with society today because these young dudes are built different.
But you're making a perfect point, though, here, Thor.
Yeah.
It is. It says it's us as the elders are the ones that are supposed to be correcting this behavior.
True,
if nobody
true.
says anything and they're just going, well, that's just how it is. Guess what? They're not going to. I mean, you guys. I don't know if you guys have kids or not, but I have kids, and for the first 6 or 7 years of their life, it's don't do that. Put that away. No. Like you are correcting behavior. Otherwise,
over and
you're
over.
going to keep doing whatever it is. So, like, a lot of it has to do with us just letting things slide because everyone's so scared to say anything. You know what I mean? It's like, no, dude, like that's not, we're not doing that. Like, that's not the behavior that you want to have. I mean, and again, I go back to, I've been on championship teams. I mean, I go back to when I was a freshman at Purdue and Drew Brees was my quarterback and we won the Big Ten for the first time since 1967. And it took everybody. And I guarantee you, that stuff wasn't going on. But I've also been on the 0-16 team where the guys that you're looking, the guys that you're looking to, that are making the money, that are the leaders of the team, just aren't showing up. It's just it's not good. It's a slippery slope, and the way that coach addressed it, you could tell he was very upset, wanted to move on from it, and it's just is it going to be an issue? Probably not. But now I look at it going, okay, that's a mental note for me. I'm not messing with that dude. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be a great teammate, but it's like I understand where he's at. Like, I kind of know what his situation is.
Okay, right.
Yeah. So.
Well, I 100% agree with you.
Is that Spice?
No, this is Mother Moon.
Oh, sorry, Mother Moon's behind the scenes. So we got another person behind the scenes. That's Mother Moon.
Hey, thought you were the ventriloquist.
I didn't know if Spice was lagging her a little bit. I wasn't sure there. So
we probably sound similar.
Well, yeah. So I apologize. I wasn't sure exactly who was saying what. So let me ask you guys this. Who this year is gonna have to? How do I say this? Who's gonna be the guy that you're expecting to kind of be the guy that's gonna get us to where we want to go, like to the playoffs? Who's gonna be like? I think Carr's gonna be consistent. I think Renfro's gonna be consistent. Is there who do you guys seeing kind of having that marquee maybe breakout year, or do you even have one?
Carr, I wouldn't say he's going to have a breakout year, but he has to, because he's a veteran at this point, but he's got to be the one to lead. And if you want to, on the other side, I think Mad Max has got to take that defense and lead as well. And if those are going to be the two guys, and there's some other that kind of trickle very, very close behind them, I think. But to me, if you're looking at both sides of the ball, those are the guys in my opinion.
Right. I'd say I'm almost exactly the same on offense. I would say Carr better show up, and Devontae. Honestly, I love Devontae. I'm so happy we got Devontae.
Yes.
But you have got to show so to me, Devontae needs to be bigger because he's the best. To me, he's the best receiver in the league. But you have to be the best dude in the league to talk to your homeboy, DC4, who to me I'm not excited about, but I could be, and I was 4 years ago. So you need to talk to your boy, get his mind right, and say, look, bro, When I'm one-on-one, I don't care if you think I'm open or not. You get the ball out there to me and let me make a play. And so if he does that and he can get in Carter's head and get him to throw the ball to him and Devontae will make plays, I got faith Devontae will make plays. Then I believe the Carter-Devontae hookup will be the biggest, most important thing. And on defense, I'm going to go with Mad Max because I love Chandler Jones. And I think that's going to give Mad Max a little bit of help. We obviously need some help at defensive tackle. We gotta figure out what's going on there. You know what I'm saying? And Clee, we'll see what's going
up with
on
Teamer?
here. I don't know Hankins, but I just feel like if we get a little bit of help on defensive tackle, I think with Chandler Jones there, I think Mad Max goes stupid. So I'm going Mad Max on defense and on offense. I gotta go the connection between the Fresno State boys. Hey, from my family in Fresno,
there you go.
The Fresno State boys go stupid.
Hey, Spice, who'd you say? You said something I couldn't.
I said Teamer. Yeah, Teamer. He was doing okay.
I haven't seen him at all, have I? I don't know.
Yeah, he's been in a lot. I don't. There's nothing that stands out that I can recall. Spice, maybe you know, but he's definitely been in.
So Spice, you're up. Who do you?
He had a nice hit on the game.
Who are you looking for to step up this year?
I really believe Mad Max. This is his year. This is his year to step up, and be the leader. I know he's a leader on defense, but I'm talking about the whole team. To see his guys, just to see him play, he is awesome, and I think he's going to really shine on our team this year. I think Carr is pretty good in the locker room as a captain mentor, but on the field, he gets too excited. And he messes up. Like he forgets the play or something. I don't know how to put it on him, but he's afraid.
I see it.
And I'm just hoping
when I see Carr, I don't see him forgetting the play. What I see happening a lot is if the first option isn't there, this is where the scared part comes in, and then he doesn't let time for the other options to develop, and then he just immediately throws it away if the first option isn't there. That's what I see. I hope this year that changes because now that they've got 5 weapons out there, if option 1's not there, go to option 2, 3, 4, or 5. You don't need to be throwing it away like that anymore, especially when you have Devontae out there that can catch almost
or
anything.
falling down or
anywhere near him. Yeah. And I do like Mad Max. You spoke a little bit, Spice, of Derek Carr in the locker room. I like Mad Max on the sidelines this past game. I really noticed he was hyping the team up after every good play on both sides of the ball, and I really appreciated that.
Well, then that's why I think Waller should have been there too. That's why
bingo.
You need that. You need that cheerleader on the team. That guy. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, that's the thing. Like you can see how it is. It is important, and
it is.
I'll go last. I'm going to go last.
Well, Carr on the side.
But I'm tired of excuses. Derek Carr did not have the worst line in the league last year. The Cincinnati Bengals went to the Super Bowl with the worst line. So I'm tired of no more excuses. You got your dude. That's why I'm saying that. But Colton Miller, someone else got to help Colton Miller because Colton Miller stepped his game up a lot, right?
Yeah.
I don't know what's up with what's his name, Leatherhead or whatever the hell his name is. I can't even pronounce his name right as bad as he plays.
I want to make a point real quick. Roderick Teamer was second on the team for tackle, so I was wrong on that, Spice. I was thinking of somebody else. So he has been playing pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Thank you, because I was like, I'm liking this one. Okay, Drake. Oh.
Stewie's good. He admits when he was wrong.
But you guys know our boys guys not going to make the squad. They look disciplined.
Yeah.
And that's what I was excited about.
Right. Yeah. I'm very excited about that too. That to me is they look like I was saying earlier, they look more professional, they look disciplined, they look well coached, they look like they know, like
Yes.
you were saying earlier, like don't know. The whole team kind of used to look like they didn't know. Right? I mean, when you go
Right.
out there with a well
Right.
developed plan of what you are doing and you know how to do it, I mean,
Yes.
so I'm gonna go back to my when I was in high school, and my Spanish teacher always used to say, repetition is the key to memorization.
Oh,
Memorization is the key to
yes,
foreign
it is.
language learning. Well, what you do out there on the football field isn't what you do in normal life. So you got to keep the repetition, get the memorization right to get these cats to learn everything. I just don't think there was enough discipline before.
So are you saying that practice is important?
Yes.
Extremely.
Thank you. Say that
Extremely.
again, please. Could you say that again?
I think
Extremely.
that's what I've been waiting to see is more communication between the players, more
Yes.
nonverbal communication, more pre-snap awareness, more situational football. I feel as if we're trying to make a play as the play is going on, and there are so many pre-snap reads and things to look for. I didn't see a whole lot of that, and a lot of that has to do with coaching and having. I want to see a leader step up in that secondary.
Yeah.
I just haven't seen a playmaker, a guy that that a Namdi or a Woodson or some guys like that, where you're like,
Eric
you know
Allen.
it's coming. A Philip Buchanan, where a plays like a guy you can count on. Like those guys, they almost
Yes.
they didn't mess up a whole lot, but they weren't making plays either. And I'd like to see them get more involved, take
Right.
advantage of we don't want pass breakups, we want interceptions, but that comes through practice, through the
Yes.
week, through recognition of formations and down and distances and all that type of stuff. And I don't know how much I saw that last year. I know I was very happy knowing that Rob Ryan was coming back, because obviously I know how he prepared us, and that was one thing we always knew at practice. What to expect. I mean, you're not going to know every call, right? You have to let the defense run itself. But I just want to see. I felt like last year everyone was just kind of playing their own game. They were
Cohesiveness
Yeah.
this year.
They were just it was
What
like
I've seen.
11 guys just kind of playing whatever. We need a whole
What they were
unit.
playing.
Yeah.
We
Right.
need a whole
And like
unit.
you said, the ultimate team sport. So
It
you
is.
can't play as individuals. You got to play as one unit.
It is.
Full solid team. Right.
It needs
right.
to be organic. Yes.
Yep. And for me, when I want to see guys talking, I want to see the defense out there talking, because when a defense gets quiet, it means one of two things. It either means you're tired, or you don't know what the fuck's going on. And those things, like when you're out there talking, it's fun. You're up, you're calling things out, you're checking things, and I want to see more of that. And I feel like it's getting there. But again, I want to see some of these guys. It's time.
It's time.
Everything I see about Moreg, from TCU, one of the best guys. I remember seeing him in college when he came to Purdue and played, and it's just, he's phenomenal, the best player. And Abrams, I'm like, okay, but we gotta make some, we gotta have some game changing plays here, man. I mean, we got some of those guys need to win a game, make a play that's gonna determine the outcome of the game.
Right.
And that comes with.
Right.
Sorry.
What do you think about that? No worries. What do you think about this question from Raiders 805? Stu, how much time does a QB need to really pick a team apart? He's also the one that commented that DC4 only had 2.5 seconds. So I think he's asking the O-line. How much time does the O-line need to give him?
So when he's saying pick a team apart, that actual as the play is going on, right? Not like during the week in preparation or anything.
Right. I think what he's asking is how much time does the O-line need to give Derek Carr to make some plays?
So I'm realizing more and more when I'm looking at football, and it's amazing how I've been playing since I was 10 years old, and I'm still learning things and recognizing things, and I didn't realize how important it was to have a strong defense and offensive line, because you can have I don't want to say subpar DBs or receivers, but if you have a great offensive line and that those defensive ends and you can maintain pressure with a 4-man rush, and those DBs only have to cover for, and I know I'm talking about defense, but I'll get on offense, only need to cover for 3 or 4 seconds. You can have guys that are okay, average guys, but you could throw Willie Brown out there and Charles Woodson and Rod Woodson and Jack Tatum, and if the quarterback has the ball for 5, 6, 6.5 seconds, I don't care who you are, it's going to be tough to guard those guys. So if we can have 5 seconds along with him getting, creating a nice pocket where you can step up into the pocket. I saw last year though, you look at Mahomes or like Kyler Murray, and those guys have that X factor where they can, Derek Carr is just he is what he is. He's not gonna make things happen on the fly.
Right.
So if it doesn't happen during it, it's because there were some times where he threw. I remember that Kansas City game when I was out there for the Woodson had his whole Hall of Fame thing, and there were a couple passes. I'm just going we were all up at the alumni suite going what the fuck? The one he had in the third quarter, literally, we're still in the game. What's going on? He'll make some really good ones, and all of a sudden you're like, what the hell? Yeah, man,
Do you think
That's that part I'm talking about?
He'll be able to get away with that for much longer, though? I feel like teams are going to be onto that and start to pick up on that. I feel like that was gimmicky thing, and it got him a Super Bowl. But do you think that's that has longevity in this league?
Wait, say that. Sorry. Say that again.
You're talking about Mahomes, kind of passing over.
Throwing it behind,
sideways, right? Yeah, well, I'm saying, do you think that has longevity in this league? I mean, it worked for him; it got him a Super Bowl. But do you think teams are going to pick up on that and that fly for very long?
I remember when I was living in Hemlock, and they were playing Texas Tech. I mean, it was during bowl season, and I remember watching them. I think it was his sophomore year. They might have played Florida or something like that. And I'm sitting here watching. I'm going, who the hell is this kid? I mean, he's been doing that a long time. He has that, and can it bite you? Yeah, it can bite you, but that's just something that you can't coach. You can't.
Yeah.
It's like playing against a Michael Vick or a Dante Hall. Those guys, they have that thing where they can make a play every. I mean, every play could be a touchdown. But again, you look at Carr, and he led the league or whatever in fourth quarter comeback. So we always had a chance too. I mean, but it's going to be more of a traditional. I don't think it's going to be where you're spinning it around and it's this, Michael Vick highlight play. I mean, I like Derek. I think he's a great quarterback. I think we can win a championship with him, especially now with the receivers that we have, the coaching staff, and again, it's going to be that offensive line. I want to see them establish a run game. I want them to go in there, which I thought they did the first game. Where we're running, and all of a sudden now you're soft. Those linebackers are moving down, those safeties are moving down, and then that's when you open up the passing game. I mean, I think we just have too many weapons. Offensively, it's just going to be defensively. Can we hold them to one less point than we're going to score?
Right, and I heard that I forget where I saw this, but that the Raiders they're predicting the Raiders are going to need to score 35 plus points to win games.
Well, this is my argument on that. And score 37.
Nobody knows. Oh my gosh.
Nobody knows. Thank you.
Well, yeah, just like he said, we need one over, but that's a lot of points.
Well, we had, and I wish I had it. We had it we had about 7 or I think maybe 6 or 7 stats defensively. Where if we were to get those specific things, the chances of us winning were pretty good. So if we could, our number was always 17. If we can hold our opponent to around 17 points, we should win the game. Now, obviously, we know that we're scoring more points. So that's going to be, I'd say 21, 24. 35 is a lot. I mean, these guys haven't given us any fucking credit. I mean, I know the AFC West is hard and tough, but whenever I see anything, the Raiders are nowhere. They're not even in the conversation. They're all have their, jaws open for, Wilson and goddamn, I do like Hibbert though, or Herbert.
People say
he's a stud. That guy's a freaking stud.
Yeah, he's good.
But again, the game's different now. I mean, I looked at it going, man, there's a lot of good quarterbacks. Like you look at these guys, and then I mean, back in the day, if you think about the last 20 years, you can name maybe 10. But I think it's the way the game has changed. Quarterbacks, they don't have to worry about getting hit anymore, man.
Right. We were just saying that. You can't even touch them.
Even the receivers. I mean, the receivers don't have to worry about getting smacked or anything like that. I mean, it might happen, but taking that out of the game allows them to play freely. But if they know, like, dude, okay, I know there's like these two guys back here. Like, some of those catches aren't gonna be caught, but it's almost like the DBs have their hands tied behind their back, and that's an advantage for the offense. So that's why I think you see a lot of these, gaudy statistics, is because you're playing with like freely,
Right.
Yeah.
So quick question: does anyone off the top of their head know? I have no idea what the average points we gave up a game last year was. I know we can
easily find out. I'll find out here.
Okay. Because 35 points a game is that to me is
that's too high. That's too high. That's too high.
So people, but again, people could throw out anything, right? Anyone could throw out anything. We know our boy Raider Travis, who might still be in here or not, is saying we're 17-0 no matter what. So I mean, you're just saying that, right? I mean, anyone could say anything like, we got to score 35 points a game.
Honestly, you
got to score, like Stewie said earlier, you got to score one more point than your opponent scored on that game. Because you look at a lot of games where our defense actually showed up, even in the Cincinnati playoff game. And
Cool Cam says 15 points average.
Oh, he found it?
It looks like 15 points average.
That's better than I thought.
That's better than I thought it was going to be. Also, a lot better.
I better check his numbers.
Yeah. Double check it. Yeah, double check his work.
Yeah.
That's what he's hoping for this year. Raider Travis 17-0, baby. I knew you. I know it. Let's go.
Well, let's add the playoff games and the preseason games into that in the Super Bowl.
Here we go. So, let's see here. So,
Persian Raider says 22 points. It looks like.
That would make okay. So 27.
Huh.
Ooh, I'm gonna wait. 26. No. All right, you guys talk.
Low. I feel like it's higher.
I'm gonna do the math. Make sure the preseason stuff.
Add all the scores togetger.
Okay.
Divide by 17.
I think it's more than 15.
It's gonna be.
I'm gonna say it's probably around, off the top of my head, I'm gonna say it's probably around 27.
Fucking Kev, he probably added up, fucking how many quarters they played in a game or something.
But if you average giving up 27 points a game, I'm just
average.
I can't see it being more than that on average.
Travis also says he's seeing 22.
Okay, so if it's 22, then technically you only need to score 23 points a game, right?
Are you sure on that one? Are you sure on that?
Right. I think our defense didn't get a little better. Like I was arguing with some dude in Costco when I was at Costco a little earlier, and he was talking crap, and my boy GQ Raider was in there with me. He had all his Padres shit on, so he didn't know he was a Raider dude. And GQ just went off on him like, bruh, we got better. We got better on offense. We got better on defense. We went 10-7 last year. And sure, other teams, man, got better. Did Kansas City get better? They lost Tyreek Hill. That, to me, is going to make Travis Kelce's game go down. So, to me, with what we added with Devontae, what we added on defense with Chandler Jones, Rakeem Sin, you know what I'm saying? I think that gets us to 11 or 12, in my humble opinion. But, again, I'm just a fan. So sometimes our fandom makes us go.
It's 23.5 round up 24.
Okay, so then we need to score not 30. Okay. We need to score 35 points. 25 points a game on average then to win every game.
Hold on, is that math right? Is that right?
Did they count the so they count the playoff game?
Yeah, I did.
If you count the playoff game, I'm getting. If you count the playoff game, I'm getting 2.9, so 23.
Are you don't believe you're checking mine?
Okay. 23
No,
points.
because I was just curious because I didn't know if they counted the playoff game.
Okay,
I mean, I would.
22.9. Okay. So again, 22.9. So we need to score at least 24 points
Practice.
on average. If our defense didn't get any better.
On average.
What the fuck? I had a point that I was going to say. Let me ask you guys this. So when we're in a tight game, and you close your eyes, and you visualize us winning the game, who's the guy that's winning the game for us?
Daniel Carlson.
That's a pretty safe bet.
That was last year.
Pretty safe bet. All right, who else?
Oh, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I just think this
Pick
year.
one, here,
Yeah,
do this.
it
Pick
is.
one. Pick one on defense, one on offense. Thor, you pick one on offense. Each person pick one on offense, one on defense.
Okay, so this year I'm gonna hope. This year I'll change it from Daniel Carlson because we're gonna go this year. I'm gonna hope it's gonna be Devontae on defense. I'm gonna hope it's gonna be. I'm gonna go away from two people I'm talking about. I'm gonna go with Rocky Sin.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and say Renfro.
Okay.
On offense.
Safe bet.
And defense, I'm gonna say Crosby.
What? You're not gonna go with Teamer? You're leaving Teamer out, man.
That's your boy.
Yeah, but you asked me to pick. Nah, he ain't gonna be the hero. He's gonna be a help to our team.
All right.
He's gonna make it more for defense. That's what he's gonna do. But Max is gonna take it. He's hungry.
what about
Have you guys
you?
seen him lately? Man,
What about you? We're waiting for your answer.
yeah.
Who, me or Stu?
Stu, you threw the
No,
question.
I'm last. Like, there's two more left, isn't there?
No.
I got. You know what? I'm gonna say Adams obviously on offense, and I'm just gonna go on a limb here, just as like a surprise pick, because why not? And go with Rock Ya Sin.
There you go. You went on my pick. I'm okay with that.
Okay.
I'm all day. Yeah, I'm Crosby all day. But if I really want to see, Carr do it, and I just want to see him get that pass in. It's gonna be like a
Get that glory moment.
get that. Yes,
Get the
get
monkey
it.
off
And,
his back. Dodge.
Yep.
okay, yeah.
Right.
But that's I just I'm quarterback to be the leader of the team. So yeah.
So I'm gonna
Waller.
go. I like those picks. I'm gonna go Devontae Adams. No. Sorry, Renfro. I'm going Renfro.
I'm
going Renfro. Everyone's just gonna forget about him because they're so obsessed with Adams and
Yeah,
Jacobs
that's a good
and,
point.
Yeah.
Waller. So I'm gonna go Renfro, and then on defense, I'm gonna go with and I always say it wrong, but I'm gonna go with Trayvon Morrig.
Okay, I like it.
Okay.
I hope Trayvon Moore steps his game
We need a
up.
big year, dude. We need a big year from him.
Yeah.
We do.
Great. I hope so. I hope so.
We do. And I think we're going to be consistent with Carlson and Cole, and some those coverage guys. I think I think our special teams will be pretty good. I mean, but again, our schedule is just a motherfucker. Fuck.
Yeah.
I think we got.
Well, coach was pissed off.
My favorite thing is young and hungry, and I think we got a lot of young cats on there. We need them to be hungry though. Hungry. We want young and hungry.
I want to see I want to see them with a chip on their shoulder. You know what I mean? A little fucking shit talking out there.
Hmm?
Yes, me
Yes.
too. Back to like the old school days. Everyone's too like Derek
Ew.
Carr helping people up.
Days.
Come on, man. Leave his
Fuck,
ass
yeah.
down there. Like, what are you doing?
That guy's going towards the sideline. You try to break his fucking kneecap or his
I
fucking,
know, right?
It's, hey man, they're out there all trying to share jerseys and shit. I'm like, what the fuck?
Hey, Philly, on next
Oh my
Friday, if you
God.
just run out on the field and crack someone in their back, we'll bail you out.
I said, when I was talking about Waller, I said, to be honest with you, I'd pay to go to line up against him for a quarter, dude. I'd like to test his chin just to fucking see where he's at.
I
Oh,
love that.
wow.
See, that
See,
mentality,
that's
that's the mentality we need right there. That's the mentality we need our guys to
I've
have
been
right
saying
there.
that.
Oh, dude, that's
Yes.
fucked up, bro. That's
Day
fucked up, dog. That's fucked up, bro. Like, that's your teammate and this and that. Like, you should
No.
you want to kill those guys. You expect if you're bullshitting someone to come up and clean your fucking clock out. That's how you get better.
Right.
You know?
right.
Like, and I just that's and the other thing is I really like, and I'm hopeful, and I think this staff will do it. Like, I really miss that Willie Brown's not there, and Bolitnikoff and Otto and some of these guys, because them around, they kind of kept guys in check. Like, listen, dude, like, you had a decent game, but that I used to have those games every fucking week. You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to consistently produce those numbers. But if no one's kind of checking them, they start to think like they're out there balling or something. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if they're taking in the full aspect of like what it means to play and what that number means, and all of the people. Like, it's not just you; it's everyone that's ever worn that number. Everyone that's ever worn that number's family, fans. Like, when you go out there, dude, it's not just you that like these people. Like, you need to go out there and not bullshit, man. I mean, I don't know how. When I watched that Kansas City game, and there's 10 former Raiders with yellow jackets, and specifically a player that had a number of a guy that the whole event was about, and like just laid an egg. And I don't think it just whatever. I mean, I would literally take the jersey off and be like, I'm sorry. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not wearing this anymore because it's not right. It's not right. I'm not giving it the respect that it needs. So I'd like to see that a little more.
Me too.
Me too.
But I'm old school, But if there's not those Raider legends aren't around over there, they need to bring some of those guys back. Bring Barry Sims back and Sam Ikaduba and Kirk around there, guys that are so-called legends that are there just because they're part of the history, and these young guys can see them and
get the stories. I love that. I love that idea.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. I mean,
fuck yeah. Can I say that?
I'm sorry. I was swearing.
No, totally. We love it. We love the passion. Right? Listen. I need you. We need you on the sidelines, like getting this energy into them. You're getting us excited. Right? No need to apologize at all.
Well, I around a lot still. Who really needs to get out of more is Marcus. Marcus around all the time. He needs to start. Marcus, the greatest running back of all time, Marcus Allen.
I don't like him.
You don't like him? Okay.
I don't know him. I know. I know that he liked to mess around with guys' wives, and there's guys that like that. Oh, yeah. There's guys that do that.
Can we say allegedly or no?
And again, I've heard it. I mean, it was a thing. There's other guys. It was their thing, and from my understanding, a lot of that issue had to do with the kind of the
that
sparks
breaks down the camaraderie for sure.
Yeah, it's not good. I mean, I think that's besides someone who is a rapist or a molester, that would be the next lowest form of someone who would do that to somebody, especially a teammate, someone's wife, and
that's not cool.
It was known. So I don't like that.
Okay.
I'm not saying he wasn't a great player, and I'm not taking anything away from that.
I'm just saying he's around all the time. I see him out here all the time.
I thought you said he's not. I thought you said he's not around. And
no,
like
I'm
to
saying
see him
he's
around.
That's what I'm saying. We need old school kind of people who are around here.
Rod Woodson's out there. Marshawn Lynch, obviously. I mean, that has unfortunately.
Yeah, we know.
Yeah,
we know about Marshawn.
Yeah, those guys, more than just the local guys.
I love Marshawn to be in there talking to people because, however anyone feels about Marshawn, Marshawn is a beast. He's an athlete. So get him in there and talk football.
He played the game like you should.
Right.
and he didn't start off good, right? I mean, he was almost really. I mean, he resurrected his career and made a freaking name for himself, and that's not easy to do. And
Yeah.
our guys could learn from that, you know. But
Yes.
then,
But you know what? I don't know if he wasn't good or if I honestly don't know if he wasn't good or if he was just in Buffalo and then they were horrible. Because if you look at his numbers, they were okay. They were decent. But then when he went to Seattle, obviously he became beast mode.
He's a West Coast guy. He's a big city guy.
Yeah. Once he got back to the West, he was because he went to
Buffalo was like perfect for Josh Allen. You know, Carhartt's and just that. You know, he's from Wyoming. Like, I just don't see Marshawn fitting in very well out there in Buffalo.
Hey, Jamal Dean just brought up a really Filipino be out here all the time. So he'd be out at events and shit out here. He'd be
Filipino.
That's a dude right there who need to talk to people.
So when I came out for the home opener, me and him talked for about I met him the first time I met him. We talked for about 45 minutes, and I got his number. And he was that was the one thing that I was very I don't know if I was surprised, but it was nice because I'm thinking, you know, when they talk about the once a Raider always a Raider, I'm thinking like,
yeah.
Fuck you. Like, nah, I didn't win a Super Bowl. I didn't make a Hall of Fame Pro Bowl. Like, that's for Tim Brown and, these other guys. They wouldn't give a shit about us. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking, there's 160 of us last year. And as long as you had that little sticker on everyone, dude, like everyone came up and just, hey, where are you from? And me and him talked for about 45 minutes. And it was nice because it was an actual conversation. It wasn't like we were like looking out for each other. And this year, there's like 285 guys coming back, man. It's amazing, and I just couldn't believe how there was no egos. I mean, everyone had a great time, and you get a bunch of 280 former fucked up football players. You know what I mean? You don't know what's gonna happen, man. Like, but everybody was freaking. I mean, they were awesome, man. It was great to reconnect and. It was amazing, and going to the game and the fans and the stadium, and again, that's why I'm like, how could you want to miss this? Like, why would you don't know when your last game, and you'll never get it back, man. And
yeah,
it's sometimes it takes someone to kind of hey, listen, man, like sometimes I took things for granted because a lot of times the people around you are. They're your employees, so they're not going to the coaches aren't going to sit there and say anything. That's not their job. You're a grown man. And if you don't want to show up, I mean, that's what you're going to do. But it takes someone like, an older player going, hey man, this is how you're supposed to be doing it. And then that player passes it down and then that player passes it down. And that's how you establish a franchise.
Well, Stu, it's, what happens if the player doesn't show up for a regular game? I mean, is he fined or, is this different than a preseason?
So I'll tell you this, me and, my best friend was Gerard Cooper, number 40, it was me and him, man. Like, we were thick as thieves, man. And, when we go on the West Coast when we go to the East, so, Eastern Standard Time, we would leave on Friday if it was 3 time zones away, right? Because of the time change. Mm-hmm. So we flew into Kansas. This was in 06.
House, baby.
We flew to Kansas City, and midnight was curfew, but we went back out. And do you remember there was a receiver Webb that Kirk went to high school with? I want to say Kirk Morrison. And they had a pretty good safety that always seemed to pick us off at the end of the fucking game. I can't remember what number he was for Kansas City, but they were at a nightclub. So, we went out and had a couple drinks. It was Friday. I never did it, a night before the game. And a bunch, we were coming back and, Art Shell, heard about it. Guys were missing curfew. Well, they have these little security guards, like at the elevator shaft, like when, so that fans or whatever can't come onto the floor. Well, me and Cooper went up like the back stairs, and we're going to our room, and like the little security guard was like, "Hey, what's going on?" I'm like, "Oh, no, this is our room. We're players or whatever. Here's our." He's like, "No, He's like, you guys are past curfew," and I'm like, "Cooper, just get in the room, And Cooper's like, I'm like I'm in the room, and he's kind of out there. I'm like, what the fuck? And all of a sudden I hear, "Fuck you, motherfucker! I don't care who the fuck you are. You're talking. You don't know who in the fuck." And I'm like going, "Oh
Oh,
shit!"
jeez.
Oh. So he's like, "I'm gonna call Art Shell. Call whoever the fuck you want. I don't give a shit." Right? So we go to bed. Well, we wake up and we have his team meeting at like 8 in the morning, and Art Shell stands up there, and it was here's the thing about Art Shell is he was a disciplinary to certain groups of guys.
Mm.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it wasn't very consistent. So he says we got guys, and there was probably 6 or 7 of us. But here's the thing: on Friday nights when you're home, there's no curfew. Guys can do whatever they want. You know what I mean? They're grown men.
Right.
And he said we got guys putting themselves ahead of the team. He takes Cooper's jersey and he fucking rips the captain's patch off of it.
Oh, wow.
And then he's like, we got another safety. Basically, just called me and him out. But there were other guys that Jerry Porter went out and Terrell Sand, and there was a lot of guys that Kirk Morrison and Chuck Pagano was just like, and he goes, "I'm gonna fine you guys to the max. I'm gonna fucking fine you guys to the max." And Chuck Pagano was just like, "Hey man, just better have a good game." And I probably had one of my best games. I actually have it on my YouTube channel.
Okay.
So, but we lost. And I'm thinking, well, man, I had one-on-one tackles. I was all over the place. I'm like, okay, I played pretty good. And we went into film on Monday, and Rob Ryan started the meeting he goes, "Stuart and Coop, I don't know what the fuck you guys did on Friday night, but you can do whatever the fuck you want if you're playing like that." So we're like, "Oh, sweet. Yeah,
Here comes a double standard, right?
Okay.
There's like 3 double standards in that story.
Then I get my check, though. We get our check on Tuesdays. He fined us $10,000.
Oh, damn.
Before tax. And so I'm thinking, well, at least I can donate it. And they're like, actually not, because you're giving that money to the NFL, then the NFL is donating it in their name.
Oh.
So there were you couldn't just, and that was just for missing the midnight curfew on a Friday night.
Yeah.
To not go to a game. And there were certain times maybe a guy might fly home Friday or Saturday and meet us maybe early on Sunday if he is having a baby. That was about it, but no deaths, no nothing. You didn't get days off. If it was I remember when I was in Detroit, we had a snowstorm and the entire town was shut down. But you were still, cars all over the highway, but you were expected to fucking be there at 7:30 in the morning for special teams meeting and practice. So to just miss. Now, obviously, it's not like he just didn't show up.
Right.
He must. He. And here's the other thing that I'm worried about is, did he just go right to Mark? You know what I mean? Did he just
beforehand,
and not go through the coaches, go through the first your position coach, then the head coach, because that can cause some serious issues. And I know Rob Ryan made it very clear. Listen, guys, Norv Turner, they got a busy fucking job. We handle our stuff in here. Do not bother those guys. Start with your position coach. If you guys can't handle it, come to me. But do not bother the head coach with shit that we can handle in here. And I feel like there might be he might think he has a fast pass maybe to Mark. And even that, if guys were really cool with Al, you didn't hang out with him, but if you did, you just kind of look and go, I don't know if I trust that dude, man. I think he's, I don't know if I want to really get loose with this guy, because he may be like, "Oh, hey, just so you know, fucking, Stu and Cooper were fucking, doing shots off the bar and shit." And, yeah, I could see Derek Carr like that, but that's who he is, and you just know there's certain things I can do around and say about Derek, but there's certain things that I'm not going to, So
yeah.
And then with the whole, I just know this. I know I'm rambling here, but the whole addiction thing, I mean, I went to 2 times a 28-day program inpatient out in Betty Ford Hazleton, where the people who write the NA and the AA, like those like where all the books are published, the counselors are actually there, and it's the best place you can go. And there's a lot of people that deal with recovery every day, and a lot of people that get sober, and it's almost like, do we need to throw a fucking parade every time? I mean, it's just like, can we move on from this thing? I don't. It's like a personal thing. Just keep like, I get you want to be public about it and on your own time, but again, it's just focusing things on the wrong thing, and I think there's a false sense of importance, or fans love them, which I understand, and as a player, you can kind of start to think that, shit, they need me. This team needs me, and Willie Brown made it clear. He said, when you get off the football train of life, when you get off it, that fucker keeps on going. It ain't gonna stop. There'll be another one of you, and you don't want to think about it, but no matter how good you are, the game ain't stopping with you. But if you have a bunch of people around you, and there's all this stuff, and he's on the busing with the boys saying no linebacker in the league can cover him, and I'm just going, you're writing a lot of checks, man. It just, and again, when you put yourself out there, it just, to me, I'm going to be way more critical. You're making me aware of you, and not for good reasons. So I'm going to be going, okay,
right,
yeah.
Like, don't give people a reason to not like you,
to not like you, right?
But fans, no matter what, and that's one thing about I've learned from the Raiders fans, and I'm very blessed to be able to know from the inside is if you love a guy, you're gonna love. Basically, you love that guy forever, and if you hate a guy, there ain't nothing that guy's gonna be able to do to really flip your feelings on that. So,
plus, we've got to be probably the most forgiving fan base ever with everything I feel like the Raiders have put us through.
Well, and that's the thing too is I challenge everybody, because you guys it's so much Raiders.
Yeah.
Challenge yourself to maybe branch off and meet some people from other teams and get to know people from other teams, because you want to have a legitimate, like going into a game. I remember last year we're going to kick these guys' ass. And I'm thinking, well, do you know I don't give a fuck who we're playing. It's like, well, they're pretty good, man. Just so you have just so you're not like devastated or just whatever, just put yourself in another team situation and talk to some fans and going, dude, you guys got it way better than us. We wish we were in your situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we're so close to it. We just, it's like your wife. You're judging and doing this.
Well, I think we get a lot of hate in particular, I think, on this show. I know I do, because, I will express when I'm not happy with, what the Raiders do at certain times.
Absolutely.
And it seemed like, oh, I'm a hater and all this kind of stuff. And it's like, no, but we don't have to agree with everything they do, especially if we're not happy about it. And I think that's okay.
And that's the thing. If you say something negative about one of those players, that guys, like, they get mad. It's like,
yeah.
Listen, buddy, like, don't take it so personal, dude. I mean, this is business. It's just that he didn't play very well, or,
right, exactly.
or this.
Societal problem.
Or this, that guy's fucking garbage trash. That's like, if the guy missed a tackle, those guys are getting paid too now. Now, if he's taking his helmet off and getting personal fouls or just doing selfish stuff like that, then yeah, motherfucker, or jumping off sides or blowing a coverage. But if a guy just gets a ball caught on him, it's like, yeah, that's tough.
For it, yeah.
But let's not, berate the guy. I mean,
again, though, still what you are saying to me is, again, a societal built different, a younger generation. And you like we're homies, and we know with our homies, we don't always agree all the time. And yes. Raider Nation is family.
You're very right.
Family.
Yeah, you're very right.
Can argue and whatever, but when it comes,
you're fucking gonna kill each other. But you're like 5 minutes later, you're fine.
Starts messing with our family, we taking them out.
Only we can fight each other.
Well, that's different. Yeah.
Only we can fight each other.
Totally.
That's what people don't understand. It's okay to argue, and it's okay to to have different points of views. It's so okay. It's that's what life is, and no one's the
Agree
same.
to disagree.
That's what makes us incredible people, incredible just whatever.
And Thor, you bring
we
up such
should.
a crucial point that the social media thing has been such a blessing to me because it allows you to meet people from all over the world, different cultures, different financial backgrounds, sexual orientations, without leaving your house and actually getting to talk to people and putting yourself in their situation for a little bit. And just like I've learned so much, and um being, like I said, just being able to fucking like just talk and communicate, and that's how I learn. You know what I mean? And just it's okay if we get in a fucking and we motherfuck or whatever. I like that. I don't mind that. Like it, I like once in a while getting my adrenaline going a little bit, and
Yeah.
don't get offended by it. It's nothing personal, right? We're just
Right.
And then drink a beer after and be cool.
yeah.
Entering.
But I always say this: if you have a point, just please, please have your point be from something you've been through or you've highly researched it. That's one
Right.
thing. People throw things out there. I'm like, are you sure? Because like, I don't know. And they're just, yeah. That's like, dude, I've learned that if I don't know something, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. But if I am going to go all in, I'm going to go all in because it's something I know for sure,
For sure.
Yeah, and again, we all have different opinions on different things. It's like well, that doesn't mean we're haters. It just means we have different opinion, or we like, the Raiders did something we didn't care for, or player did something we didn't care for. That's our opinion on it.
I always think it's funny.
Haters.
Sometimes we'll be, we'll have 10 guys in here, and whoever we ask first their opinion, sometimes I've seen it where it just kind of follows suit, right? Everyone's kind of
Mm-hmm.
it'll get to me. I'm like, you guys are all fucking nuts, dude. Like, I'm not saying that it's like I'm always right, but there'll be some points, and by the end, they're like, oh, actually, you know what? I never thought about it that way. But sometimes people are a little nervous to kind of maybe
definitely
go against the grain. You know what I'm saying?
When you come up here, you come kick it with me, baby.
Yeah, but don't catch feelings, man. Don't take it personal unless someone does get personal, and then you gotta make sure that you fucking tell them where to shove it, right, Thor?
Man, let them know in a quick second, bro. In a hot second, maybe in a hot
But hold
second.
these guys accountable, fans. Hold these players accountable.
Right, for real.
There's certain things that you shouldn't sweep
Yeah.
underneath the rug. You should be like, that wasn't right. That's not what a Raider. That's not what Freddie B would do. That's not what that's not what these guys. That's not what Plunkett would do. That's not what Woodson would do. That's not Wheatley would do. So it's like, no, we're not doing that. That's not the team. That's not the team that we have. There's a certain standard when you put that fucking helmet on that we expect you to play with. And some of the shit, it's like, that's not Raider football, man. Like you might need to get the fuck out of here, dude. Like,
right.
I had some guy in here hating on me for my Waller opinion, and he was saying something like, "You don't know him," and I was like, "Oh, you must."
That's a good one. No, like, I'm amazed at how many experts or how personal people are with being inside an NFL locker room, and and sometimes I think I try to be as a comment, like, I like to sit back and listen. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is sometimes when you're nice and you're quiet, you kind of get taken advantage of a little bit. I'm just Stu, and I'm just a friendly Stu or whatever. And I think sometimes people forget that I have an inside, like I lived it, so I don't know how you can like argue with some of them. But the motherfuckers. I mean, I give them credit. Them son of bitches will go to the fucking take it to their grave, and I'm like, I take it as a challenge. Like, I gotta flip this guy. And there's a couple of times I said, dude, you wore me out, dude. You won, dude. You win.
You win. You must have been in that locker room or that stairwell with Arshell or what.
Fuck, you won a Super Bowl, dude.
Hey, still, a lot of times it's just easier to let them win, so you don't have to listen to them talk anymore.
Well, and also,
you're right. My bad.
And that's the thing. It's like you got to pick and choose, and also sometimes like, if you don't say something and you do, like, they start to get a little, where everyone's agreeing with me, and they also you could kind of see them get on that fucking soapbox, and they just start to say, well, we just created a monster like this motherfucker, like he's whatever, but then you got to kind of check him a little bit, but
right,
whatever.
it's the mob mentality. It's the mob mentality, man. It's just when you get once a few people, then everyone wants to join. Nah, I guarantee you're not changing my opinion on most things, and you can change my opinion on some things, though, for sure.
I've been like, you know what? Fuck, you're right.
Listen. I listen. I know I don't know everything, so.
And there's been times when I'm motherfucking somebody, I'm going, well, I don't. Why am I doing that? Like, have I ever met the guy? And then someone will be like, I actually met him. He was pretty cool. So I'm like, you know what? I gotta take it easy. I mean, I was hard on Abrams last year, and then I looked at his stats, and I'm like, I mean, I'm too critical. Maybe I need to just kind of back off a little bit. And
I'm surprised to see him in the game. Do you think that? What do you think that means?
I think it was good. I think it was just for me. I don't know how any of these guys could walk into week one without getting a little
rhythm,
like that.
Right?
Yeah, just kind of getting a little bit of that game atmosphere type thing. But there's a guy named Ron English, and he's the defensive coordinator here at Purdue, and me and him have become very, very, very close friends because a kid I trained since 6th grade played for him at Mississippi State with Abrams. And I talked with him as well, and he said, they're playing Abrams out of position. That what they're making him do is not what he should be. That's not for his strength. So then I'm thinking, well, shit, here's the guy. I mean, I'm motherfucking him, but he's out of position. I was like, that's the coaches, man. Like, you need to put him in a position that he's going to excel at, and that's in the box, almost like a linebacker, where he's not getting middle of the field. He's not a rangy guy. Leave Moreg and those guys for that type of stuff, but get him in the box there where it's not a lot of space, coming up and blitzing, that type of thing. I think it could be an asset for us. But who was the guy last year? Who was the D coordinator last year? Fucking asshole. What was his name?
Oh, they switched. What was his name?
What was his name?
God, he was terrible. God, why? See, I've been drinking too much.
Or Gus Bradley.
Gus Bradley, yeah.
From San Diego.
Can't use him. He don't fit into my scheme. I'm thinking, hey, listen, motherfucker. You make him fit. You adjust your scheme to the players we have.
Yeah.
You arrogant asshole.
Right.
No, he won't fit. Oh, first round, fucking number 3 overall pick. You can't use the guy. Like, give me a break, mate. Put him out there somewhere, dude. Like, come on.
Right.
Seriously. So.
Right.
That's.
So Stewie, on that, like, okay. Obviously, I don't play football. I play a lot of like games, whether it be cards or dominoes or whatever.
Yeah.
And everywhere you go, people got different rules or different whatever. And all this is what I always say. You give me what you got and I'll work with it. I'll figure it out. You got these people and this is what you make it work with what you got. That's what you got to do. Otherwise, you're just a one-trick pony. And that's all he was.
And Rob Ryan, and the best example of that would be Chuck Pagano. I mean, I had my best years under Chuck Pagano, and he'd be like, "Hey guys, listen. Here's kind of the the base of the defense." But he goes, "You guys are out there playing, make it yours. How do you want your left foot up instead of your right? If you want to be at 8 instead of 10, if you want to run a game and block this, like, do it. But some of these coaches, they just have to control everything. And I couldn't believe it when, I'm pretty good friends with Rod Woodson. Obviously, he went to Purdue, and he was there when I came in. I love the guy, respect the guy, and he doesn't coach anymore. I said, Rob, what the hell happened, Rod? And he says, Stu, the day that I knew I was done with it was we're sitting in a defensive meeting room, and Jack Del Rio comes in, when he was the head coach, and he sits down and he starts telling Rod Woodson how he wants the cornerbacks to backpedal and turn and stuff. And I'm thinking, like, if I knew I had Rod Woodson, I'd be like, that's one less thing I don't have to ever worry about.
Famer, a great
That's one thing I don't have to worry about. I can go over and focus on this, but they just
which he needed to do no move himself.
They just have to show them. I'm the one who runs this thing. I'm the one with the big, the fucking. I got the big, what.
His biggest problem was that he didn't know how to fix it, right? I think Josh McDaniels, when you said this recently, said if you don't know what the problem is, you can't fix it, and that was Del Rio's problem, in my opinion. That's all he ever said was we lost our mojo.
He said,
"You're not going to fix the problem."
I did hear you say that. I did hear you say that. Yeah.
He said, if you don't know
how you fix the problem,
if you don't know how you
go get your mojo, like what?
Yeah.
Well,
if you don't know how you lost, how are you going to know how to win?
Right.
So I will say this. So in that 06 season, number 1 pass defense, number 3 overall defense, worst in offense every category. I'm going up to Jake Grove and Brad Badger and Slaughter and Gallery. I'm like, dude, you have Art Shell in there, Hall of Fame offensive lineman. You have Jackie Slater, Hall of Fame offensive lineman. Irv Eatman, who played like 17 years. I'm like, what the fuck's going on in there, guys? And he's like, Stu, listen, like we'll watch film and we're talking about picking up a blitz and, hey, coach, should we sidestep? Should we trade it up? Just block him. Yeah, but if this guy moves, should I, out slide? Should I kick? Should I just block him? Like, okay, that's not telling me anything. Like that's not gonna help me. And then you didn't block him. Like, I don't know what you want us to do. I mean, that's why I say sometimes coaches, they get all loud. Hey guys, you know what? We had a coach here at Purdue, hype man, and everyone thought he was this great coach. We're gonna go out there. We're gonna block. We're gonna catch that fucking ball. We're gonna run. We're gonna play hard. And it's like, well, what about on 3rd down when the safety comes down? What's the hot read check? Like, I know we're gonna play hard, coach, but I need some substance, brother.
Some actual coaching. Yeah.
Like, I know I gotta play hard and catch the ball. We gotta get first down. You don't want to have penalties. No turnovers. Like, oh, all right, yes. Yeah, we know. You know what I mean? Like, dude,
if that was coaching, I could do that.
Exactly, but and you see those coaches, right? It's all like the theatrics. It's all peacocky. But the good coaches, you don't see them fucking yell too much. You don't see them fucking freaking out. They're and again, like Chuck Pagano, Belichick. I mean, the good ones, you don't, they're not yelling and puffing and fucking, just like that's an inexperienced coach, man, and that's someone that doesn't know what the hell they're doing. And unfortunately, there's more bad coaches than good coaches in the NFL, and it's unfortunate because you would think.
I love John Madden.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean,
he was the yeller.
Think about it though. In the history of football, there's not a lot of great coaches or guys that really, and that you see some of the same people because they had the formula. They knew what they were doing. I mean, there's coaches who rip a guy's ass, but there's some that's just like they're just like, dude, like, come on, coach. Like, man, I mean, we're all like, we know when we mess up, man. Like, teach me how when they get in that formation again, what do I need to do? Type of thing.
So, what do you think about? I mean, obviously, I don't know your opinion on this, but most people will agree that Bill Belichick's like one of the all-time greatest coaches of all time. So, do you think that?
Belichick?
Belichick, yeah.
Belichick, one of the greatest of all time. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I mean.
Just his two-part. Do you think Josh McDaniels under his tutelage is going to bring like that formula and that kind of winning or coaching style to the Raiders and really succeed?
That was one of the things I was worried about because what happens is, unfortunately, in an organization like that, and I'll have an example of a player and I'll have an example of a coach where. There's a couple guys that are the ones running the fucking show. Okay. They're the ones that they learned it from somebody who learned it from somebody. So you see those coaching trees, right? You know what I mean?
Bill Walsh.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Holmgren and, Wayne Fonts and, these guys like that, Spurrier and, shit, what was I saying? Coaches. What the fuck was I saying? The coaching tree. Fucking Kev, cool Kev, shut the fuck up over there, man. You're messing up my train of thought here. What the hell was I saying?
You were talking about the
About
coaching.
Belichick and McDaniels and how
couple
that
of
could.
coaching styles.
Okay, yep. So, not everybody's, just because you won a Super Bowl last year, and as a player, you just so happen to do it as a free agent, right? And you maybe played a little bit, but those are the free agents that make the big money. Well, that guy may have not been the real. I mean, yeah, was he part of it and was it a team? Yeah, but just because that guy comes over doesn't mean that you're automatically like, well, he knows what it takes, this type of thing. And sometimes coaches, for players, for me, it was fuckhead from the Giants who took my spot. Remember him, Gabriel Wilson. They paid $28 million, and I'm thinking this guy sucks, but
Jeez.
it was timing. It was timing. And then some of these coaches, like the guy that coached the Detroit Lions a couple of years ago, that's just the guy who was a slob, big beard and big fat guy. He was the I think he was the offensive or defensive coordinator for New England. He
was crap. What was his name?
Terrible.
I know what you mean.
Some of those guys, they just because they held the fucking clipboard, they think that they know what they're doing. But with what's our coach's name? Jesus Christ.
McDaniels.
Our coach McDaniels. The thing that the advantage that we have is he went through a lot of growing pains with Denver. He worked out a lot of shit with Denver, then gets to go back and now have a totally different kind of get knocked down a little peg. Like you got fired, you sucked, you're not perfect. So that's a huge advantage for us. And the other thing is dude, this guy has instant access. I mean, he worked with not only Belichick, but fucking Tom Brady for all those years.
Right.
Like, if he has, talk about resources, hey, coach, man, hey, we're playing, fucking Kansas City this week. What are you thinking? He's gonna help him out.
Wait, so you think Tom Brady's gonna give the Raiders advice on how to win games?
Well, I don't know. I think if he called them, yeah. I mean, I'm sure the guys had a relationship. I mean, I was thinking more of Belichick, but
yeah.
But I mean, this guy, they work together. They're buddies, man. I mean, they're like the same age. I think Tom's probably even
older.
Yeah. And him and the GM are both Midwestern guys, which I like.
Hey, they're not the same conference, so what does he care, right?
They're all buddies. I mean, it's a very close. Right. The NFL is a very small, tightly knit circle, and I looked at it going, well, you know what? I'd rather have a guy come from New England than someone coming from fucking, I don't know, Carolina Panthers. Like, what the hell does this guy know about it?
And 1 year different.
Everyone's hating on the Patriots, but it's like the guy's been there a long time and they've done very well. So who else is going to know better?
It's true.
I mean,
McDaniels is 46 and Brady is 45.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Like,
you can't get any closer to that.
Yeah.
I'd rather have that
at some
Lane
point.
Kiffin walking his ass, and they're like, what? Jesus. What are we doing here, man? 31-year-old guy? Like, no. So I think we've making all the right decisions. I like the staff that he brought in, and I feel like these guys don't have egos. I mean, I feel like they're good. They want to have a staff that can challenge each other, that want the best out of their players. Some coaches, the bigger the playbook, the better the coach. And it's not even close. I mean, keep it simple, stupid. Like,
well, I also heard that McDaniels allows wants his coaches to have practices together, like learn from each other, not just coach your guys, but after the guys are practicing, now y'all get together and you talk about what happened and how everyone's going to make it better.
Well, and here's the other thing: you look at Belichick, and these are like his kids, right? He doesn't want these guys to go off and do shit because it looks bad on him. So of course he's gonna be a resource for these guys. I mean, even if it's just a phone call talking about a third down thing, that one play that they talked about could be that one play that wins the game, right? That's the thing that's great about football is literally every single play matters. Like, could cost you the season. You know what I mean? Like, it's like that's why pressure of it fucks a lot of guys up, because you're under that pressure where you cannot relax for 1 second, not 1 second.
Right.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Somebody says, Mr. Raider Nation, remember when Tom Brady G-checked McDaniels? I don't recall that, but
What he cussed him out on the sideline or something?
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. I don't know.
He doesn't have it.
Well, see, and that's the thing. Like last year, when some of that, because here's what happens is, former football players, the Raiders fans, they're only comparable, or they can only relate to the highest level they played. You know what I'm saying? Like of football, and that's
You've
how
always
they.
said that,
Nothing
yeah.
against it, but that's how they judge what's going on at practice. That you can't see how coaches coach and stuff, and they were putting a lot of like stuff on the coach. I said, guys, the coaches, especially on game day, man, they're not really doing much. It's the players, man. Like if you have an issue with something, a lot of times it's the players that are making those decisions out there. You know what I mean? It's not like at high school where here's the play and you run it, right? It's like they work together. I mean, they're going to get this stuff, and the coach is going to, especially with our quarterbacks. It's like Derek's last year was an 8-year veteran with a gold C on his chest. No coach is telling him what to do. Maybe Gruden, because he was
Gruden,
Gruden was
and he listened to him a little too much, I think.
Because it's got everything goes through Gruden, right? I mean, you saw when he sat there and would come up with this terminology to make these guys fumble around, and it's like, why? Why do you want to confuse your quarterback?
Right.
Like that's just stupid. That is dumb. But he walks around and I have this terminology. I'm like, who you fooling? You're not tricking the defense, you dumbass. We can't even hear you.
I thought of him when you spoke about earlier how the coach goes around puffing their chest out and making the whole theatrics and drama in the face. Like he's the one that came to mind for me.
And again, I get a lot of flack because Greg Olson, and they like to rag on me, but I've known Greg was at Purdue. His wife was my wife's track coach. I know his family. I had a conversation with him, and he said, Steve Gruden called all those plays. Yeah, I mean, did we work together? But he's the one who's calling that shit, against the Ravens on 1st and goal, and we're running it with Carr, and we fumble. Like, that's all Gruden, dude.
Yeah, and Carr would never veer off of that. It was the one play Gruden would call and nothing else, and then throw it away. It was so frustrating. I would say this, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but I was happy to see Gruden go. I think he was treated unfairly.
Yeah,
I think he was treated unfairly, but I was happy that I just didn't think I wasn't feeling him.
Please, you can look at all the old shows, and I was talking shit about Gruden from the second they brought his ass back.
It's about him. It's me. It's me. I'm the guy. This is me. It's me.
They said I'm reading that he might be coming back. He might have a case to come back. What do you think? Not to the Raiders per se, but just to the NFL.
Some of these guys, you know what? I look at some of these guys and I'm like, dude, just go home and sit on the fucking couch, man.
Yeah.
Like Frank Gore. Like, dude, you played 16 years and you're in there boxing now? Like, sit down. Have a beer. Kick your feet up, dude. Like, Jesus. Like, it's like some of these guys, they're so, that's it. They don't, it's just.
That's all they know.
Anything else. Yeah.
It's a practice game.
If it doesn't come down to that, literally that animalistic, physical, that's how I get enjoyment, is physically beating somebody. That's how I prove that I'm worth something. You know what I mean? And I'm just thinking dude, like Breeze, like jumping right into that. I'm like, man, go home and just play with your fucking kids for a little while. Like, how much money does somebody need?
Uh-oh.
Money does somebody need?
Right.
You missed that last comment. You froze a little bit.
I heard it.
Oh, you heard it?
Well, I heard him say, how much money does someone need?
Oh, okay.
What did I say something bad?
No, you froze. No. You froze, so I couldn't hear what you said.
Oh yeah, I'm just saying some of these guys. I'm thinking like, do you need the money, or do you just want more? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, and I think sometimes these guys, they end up, they're not around their family. They don't know how to be a family man. Which I'm not saying that's bad or not. It's just you're gone all the time, and also now like you're in it. Like, you're that guy at home, and it's like you don't even really know how to communicate, especially coaches, because they're just never there. And all of a sudden you're like, holy fuck, this is the next, this is it. Like this, like I gotta get the fuck out of here, dude. And then that's why you see guys self-medicating and having these issues. And like that's why this Adelanto thing's important to me, because I'm kind of making a change from the narcotic medication shoved down your throat from big pharma to cannabis, which can have a lot of medicinal properties that are natural, and that it helps with a lot of issues that former players have. So but again, it's all a learning process. And I mean, I try to reach out to as many players as I can, because a lot of guys, they just isolate. You don't want to tell anybody what's going on, because back in our day, you didn't want to say anything, because the coaches, they're not going to fuck with you. They're like, oh geez, what the fuck, this guy?
Yeah.
I don't want emotions, no. And then they get in the offices going, man, we gotta get rid of this fucking guy. This guy's over. My killer. He's weird about his wife. Like, get rid of this fucker. Then all of a sudden you have a track record, and you don't want, at the end of the year when you leave you do like a physical, and you might have had injuries, but hey, do you want me to put anything? No, absolutely not. I don't want anything on my record, because in free agency, you got two guys here. One guy's got a laundry list of injuries. The other guy's clear. They're going to take the guy that doesn't have any injuries.
Right, so if the NFL starts allowing CBD and things of that nature, does Ricky Williams get some sort of reparations? Is that the right word?
Well, you know what? It's actually, it's, so for instance, like Charles Rogers was a very close friend of mine since, he's from Saginaw. We battled in basketball, football, and track, and I wouldn't have the career I had if he wasn't. You're only as good as your competition, and that's what got him out of the league. Broke his collarbone, was labeled a bust, and he drugged and drank himself to death because he was so embarrassed. And it was just because marijuana, and then because of opioids. When he had a broken collarbone, and worst piece of just that it's like now it's legal. I mean. Here in Indiana, it's not, which I think it's BS, because if I go 2 hours north to Michigan, you can do whatever you want, and if I cross the border here, it's a felony. It's
crazy.
Wow.
It's unfortunate. I hope everyone gets. I hope it's nationwide, and anybody with an offense that's in prison, get them out of there, Dan. Get them the hell out of jail, dude. Like, come on,
Well,
man.
California is like 3 strikes, so even back when, if you had some weed on you, you're done. You're gone.
Yeah, that should be changed, especially since they changed the law.
Yeah.
And you know what? The reason why like DUIs and alcohol and drugs are such offenses, because it's easy to prove. You found it on the guy, you found it. Then you have these, people who are doing a lot of bad stuff, but it's harder to prove. It's going to be a longer deal. And those guys usually have less sentences. And it's unfortunate that the legal system does that. And so I don't want to get in the legal system at all, but me and cops don't really get along too much. But
Samesies. We're in the same boat.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. It's just the cops. It shouldn't be us against them. They should want to.
They make it that way. I mean, I don't want to go off on a tangent. I know it's Raiders football.
I know, I totally get it.
Like they make it that way, in my opinion. They try to be confrontational so they can they can bully you. Bullies with badges is what I always call them.
I'm scared to death, and that's one reason I'm glad I got my disability, because me being out in public, like the way people talk to me, and I have to I can only be nice so much, and then I'm bigger and I'm louder. They get scared to call the police, and all of a sudden, 3 cops are walking up doing this deal, and hey, Schweigert, get your hands out of your pockets, and I'm thinking, oh fuck, Jesus,
Here we go. And
they have a hard on because they know who I am, and
totally. You can't do anything about it. You can't say anything.
Nothing. Why are you sweating? Well, it's fucking hot outside. I have 4 fucking cops. I don't like cops, and I'm a little nervous. Like, what do you? I mean, what? Like, and then they if you see something and I'm doing something, you catch me in it, I get it, but they'll just start to look. They'll start asking questions to try to trip you up. I'm like, dude.
To agitate you, to get you all resisting arrest when they want to calm
Well,
you down.
the biggest trip up is when they pull you over for any reason, especially at night. They'll always ask you, "Have you been drinking?" And they're basically asking you, "Are you drinking and driving?" The answer is always no. It's not yes, one glass of wine. It's not yes at dinner. They are saying, "Are you drinking and driving?" is what they're asking you. So you say no.
And here's the thing. It's always
they ask where you're coming from too. So if you say a bar,
right,
they say no.
And here's the thing, though. By the end, they're like, "Well, why'd you lie to me?" It's like, "Well, listen, hey, if I tell you the truth, I have no chance. At least if I lie, I get out of that shit.
You can't arrest me for lying.
Yeah, like you're not
There's
my
no extra
buddy.
charge for that.
You're not my friend here, dude. I'm not fucking. I'm not. But I remember me and my wife were in an argument, and I think I was being stupid, and I'm like, I called the police like a dumbass. They came in. I'm sitting. I'm in my office on the couch. They came in and went right to me, and they're like, "Mr. Schweigert," and I'm talking, and the guy's like, "Stand up when you or sit up when you talk to me." I said, "It's a motherfucker. You're in my fucking house. Don't talk to me like that."
Whoa, well, never step outside, right? If they ever say step outside, hell to the no. They're basically saying come out so I can put handcuffs on you,
or open the door. I remember in high school,
or open the door. Yeah.
I always
stand up in your own house when they come in.
I know.
Yes,
this show has gone way left.
One time, I took my shoes off at a house party when I was like 15 years old. I remember the cops came, and me and my buddy Dino were sitting on the couch, and just kids were running all over, jumping in the, trying to hide and stuff. And I see this big pile of shoes, and I'm going, "Are we caught, Dino?" And he's like, "Yeah, man." I'm like, looking around like the sliding glass doors. I'm like, "Man," I'm like, "Fuck that! I'm getting out of here, right?" So I go to the pile of shoes, and I'm like trying to put on anybody's fucking shoes. And it's in the middle of the winter. I have on jeans, and I was dating this girl, Adrienne Menchaca, and she was on the pom-pom squad, so I had a Heritage pom-pom shirt on and socks. And I'm like, fuck this. And there was a cemetery back there. I run out, I see a cop like on the deck, and I can see all those other kids running around. I'm like, fuck you. And I just take off running, right? And I went all the way around, and I ended up calling my dad. But I remember when I came back to Saginaw, I ran into a couple cops. They're like, "Stu, we weren't chasing you. We saw you jump over fucking fences. We knew who you were.
Like, why?
We knew we weren't gonna catch you." I'm like, "That's why I never take my shoes off." I'm like, "Don't take your shoes off. Do not open the door. Like, make them get a warrant. Fuck that." Well, I always tell people, dude. I tell people when I'm driving around, I say, "Listen, just so you know, if we get pulled over, I'm running. I'm just telling you. I'm like, you stole the car, or this ain't my car, dude. You don't know me." I'm like, I'm not messing with cops, dude. They'll find some way to get you.
Totally.
And yes, we know that.
We can agree on that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, big football player on disability. He's all fucked up and like need back. Whenever that second cruiser comes in, you're like, oh shit.
Yep.
They brought the bigger car to put the big guy in it,
or just some other dude, just so we can stand back there all like.
Yeah. The last time I remember that they were booking me, and I was in like processing, and I had my fucking hands behind my bag, and I'm just kind of zoning out. This was a couple years ago, and I look up, and there's like fucking 5 of them, just all. Just giving you that look or whatever.
Just observing.
They're just waiting to touch you.
And so I was doing a game, when I had my own radio show. Well, I decided to fucking get all fucked up while I was doing the game or whatever, like on air, like, I like fucking Al Michaels and shit or whatever. And I had like on my like radio, like nice clothes and stuff, and I'm looking at these guys, and I got my hand behind my back, and I'm going 1, 2, 3. I said, "There's 5 of you." I said, "Hey, listen, man, I'm just going to tell you, man, if you motherfuckers want to take me down, you're going to need at least 6. And they picked me up, fucking slammed me down. I'm like this on the they ripped my shirt, and they got my knees in my back, and I'm like, really? And they're like, "Get the chair." The
chair
restraint, the restraint chair, that they put you in. You ever seen that?
No.
In court,
like out in the wild.
Like it's in the jail. Yeah, you ever seen them put like when you watch Cops? They put you in that fucking thing when they can't control you. I said, "Don't put the thing on my neck, or don't put the thing on my head. I'm not gonna spit. I'm not gonna spit. I'm not gonna put the spit thing on there." Yeah, and they put me in the cell, and I'm like this, and I'm like, I'm the guy. I'm like, really, I'm the guy. I'm the one that really needs this fellas. Like, really?
Okay.
Come
My
on, guys.
brain went when you said get the chair. I thought they were gonna like hit you in the back with it or something.
No,
I
no,
was like, get the chair.
it's like
I know now. I know what
yeah,
you mean. Yeah.
they can roll you around in it and shit. Yeah, they put me in the chair and then put me in one of the cells, and I'm like, oh Jesus Christ. But anyways, yeah. So I just they just yeah, they're not. I don't know, man. I don't trust them. They there's a lot of good ones though. I mean, my dad was a deputy sheriff, and I know a lot of good cops. But
Circle back a little bit in case anyone's watching.
yeah, and actually, I moved down here to West Lafayette because it was safe, and there is a cop on every corner because the economy's good. So, but yeah, but anyways, yeah. So no cops, Thor.
There's no cops in my neighborhood. I swear to God, there's no cops out here.
They're not your friends, dude. Not when they're on duty.
Oh, trust me.
Hey, what do you got going on?
Trust me, Stu. I'm cool. I don't fuck with no police. I'm cool.
Where are you coming from tonight? Nowhere.
They ain't my homies at all. No.
Well, you ever see those videos where the guys will like go out and like purposely like fuck with the cops?
Entrapment, yeah.
I'm like, dude, man, I get it, and you know the law, but I'm like, that's
yeah.
Man,
on
I'm
that
like,
side of it, you mean?
Yeah,
it's the wrong battle. It's the wrong battle.
I'm like, dude, they're the law. Like they always win, dude. Like they can say whatever, even if you know the law. Well, they have cameras. I'm like, dude, that don't mean nothing, man. Like
they don't get you today, they'll get you tomorrow.
They always win. Even if it's on camera, it's hard. Even if it's on camera, they win more times than not.
Because they'll get you for anything.
Anything. And God, they're just.
I got a ticket once for being in a crosswalk and not crossing the street in time before the flasher stopped.
There you go. Yep. And then
I got so mad I crumbled it up and threw it, and they said that we're gonna give you another ticket for littering.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was like, and then they're like obstruction of job. Like, oh my God,
you want more?
Dude, chill.
Wasn't there another time you were like walking out of the crosswalk and it was Fiesta and the streets were like super crowded?
No, that's the time. That's the time.
See, I had a couple run-ins in high school, but when I played pro football, I didn't have any. You know, we took limousines, and there really wasn't like any really chances to where it was more like if there were cops there, they were kind of looking out, like they were looking out for us, type of thing. You know what I mean? They weren't trying to screw you over.
I got to get out of here pretty soon, but before we go, do you want to answer this one last question here? How was it like to be around Randy Moss when he was on the Raiders? So,
the biggest question and then some of the biggest kickback I get is my relationship with Randy Moss, Warren Sapp, and Jamarcus Russell, and Warren Sapp is a very close friend of mine, but Randy Moss is one of the best teammates I've ever had. One of the best competitors, one of the nicest family men, down to earth. He's country, man. He's from West Virginia. He likes to fish. Got a big dip in his mouth. He'd rent out in the off season. He'd rent, a movie theater out, and he'd have one movie would be kind of an adult movie. Then he'd have a kids movie, and he'd have all the popcorn and pop and beer, and he'd rent out bowling alleys. And he was a guy that if he could have made it work here, he would have retired here. But our offenses were it was so bad, and there was no help, and they're just chucking up the ball to him, and he's getting hit by 3 or 4 receivers. But he would tell us, Doug and those guys, hey, listen, I'll take 3 or 4 of them with me to get you guys open. Like he wanted to win, and when the fans, he's coming out here, it's towards the end of his career. And then, he's getting beat up. We're not winning. He doesn't have a relationship with Con. All it is that deep ball. Then all of a sudden, people are testing his he's a bitch and he's making too much of this. And I mean, if someone's doing that to you, you're going to get a little upset. You're not going to be, it's not like you're going to be happy to be around some of those people, So The whole thing of I'm not a Raider. I mean, what do you expect the guy to say? But I mean,
right.
He was another guy, but he was flamboyant. I mean, everyone saw what he did. I mean, he liked to. He was Randy Moss, dude. He's gonna say what he wanted, and I respect the guy, but he was a great teammate. He was a phenomenal athlete, great teammate. I mean, he was funnier than shit, always laughing, knew his football, took it serious. He was awesome. I was very fortunate to play with a lot of legends that really showed me and taught me how to appreciate the game and
Yeah.
knowing what the best looks like. It was very easy to see what the shit looked like. You know what I mean? I was very able to pick out motherfuckers that like this. We're screwed. We're fucked. This guy does. I can smell this guy from a mile away, dude. This guy's gonna be a fuck. This ain't gonna work, man. So
I love how you as a player and you as a teammate, you have such a different point of view as us as fans. I think it's so enlightening. Same with your opinion, like about Jamarcus Russell. It's very different than the fans' point of view.
well, here's the thing too, though, is it's been amazing to me because you guys have showed me a whole different reason of because there are sometimes I'm going, Jesus Christ, these motherfuckers act like fucking, they're like it's more to them they put more time and effort into it. Like Jesus Christ, you're just showing up for a game, and I'm thinking you're throwing shit at us, getting fucking pissed, and like I'm like thinking like what the fuck are they so crazy for? But then getting to meet it and hearing about, I mean, just it's a family lifestyle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like you guys are invested. You guys take it personal when someone goes out there and bullshits. You want
Yes.
Totally.
you want them to do so well, and you almost get like offended, like like that guy's purposely fucking he's fucking me, motherfucker, like that. And I wouldn't have understood that, and I've tried to relay that to my teammates, some more of my teammates, so that obviously guys are good with fans, but it like come on the show, man. And I know a lot of guys are like, wait, so you like they're on there right now? Like even I was a little nervous when I came back, and I'm thinking, oh boy, what are these guys? What's gonna be said on here and whatnot? And everyone that I've had on has loved it, and I want to have more on. And now this event, I'm bringing, and that was why me and Doc's got in that big fight, is because I knew we were going to be mixing, team Raiders players with content creators and fans, and sometimes content creators can be they can be a little prima donna-ish, they can be a little their egos can get a little whatever, and my only comment was, hey, just when when we're all together, just let's not try to compete. Let's not try to.
Yeah.
Remember when I was a rookie and I went out to Tony Lavella or Vella's locker room,
Yeah.
and there were some of the the black hole guys there, and I had a kind of a little thing where my wife asked for an autograph, and they kind of act big time, and I was thinking like, what the fuck, man? I'm like, hold on a second here, like, but I didn't. I'm looking
As fans, you mean the fans copped an attitude towards her?
kind of, yeah.
Oh,
like
that's crazy.
who are you? Like, what do you what? Like, you gotta get like, no. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, like, hold on a second here. So all I was saying was like, when we all get together, let's just like for me, I knew when I was around guys, like you just shut your mouth sometimes. Even though you don't like, sometimes it's like you might not agree with that, but you don't need to express it. And obviously in public, I mean, guys on the computer screen are a little bit different. They're a little bit more bold, which I understand.
Right.
But I don't expect there to be a problem. But like I said, hearing your guys' perspective, and again, just the history behind it, and just I get it. Like you're you're invested as much as you can be. But for us, sometimes we look at it going, this guy didn't even barely play fucking high school football. What the fuck does he know? I mean, I'm just being honest with you, is what we think. But
Yeah.
you guys know your shit. I mean, you guys are around it, and I didn't realize. I'm going, you know what? They're looking at it from, well, this is how they used to do it, so that's the only reference they have to like I get it. Sometimes it's like, dude, we're there. We're there 140 hours a week. 365 days a year. It's not like high school football where you pop in for an hour and a half and you go home. So, but it's been awesome. It's been great. I'm glad that you girls or late women are kind of, because I think that's a unique a niche, right?
Yeah, thank you.
And the one thing I try to do is I just try to educate my friends and stuff, and just how to be more football savvy, so at least you have if you're gonna cuss somebody out, at least you'll know it's the right guy that really did fuck up. One of those deals.
Totally, yeah.
So yeah, I encourage anyone to ask questions and that type of stuff, because I feel that I was at a level that a lot of people don't get to, and I have knowledge that I want to give back. So I'm going to shut up.
Totally. You shared a lot tonight.
Well, we love having you on this show. Of course, you're welcome anytime.
Shut the fuck up, I mean.
So yeah, we appreciate you. I don't know how you guys go out when I'm not on the show, but we go out one way and only one way. Much love, Raider Nation. We see you next time. Yee yee.